Hi, my name is Arshdeep and I'm a student nurse, and today I'm going to be explaining things about um, self-skin examinations and how to perform one. To begin, skin examinations are conducted to check for any skin abnormalities such as any moles, lesions, discolorations, as well as to detect or identify early signs of certain skin conditions like skin cancer. Regular skin examinations help in the early detection of melanoma or other skin cancers, which in turn helps improve um, treatment outcomes. Who should be performing these examinations? Honestly, everybody should be performing a self skin examinations, but those who have certain high risk factors, such as fair skin, who have a family history of cancer, skin cancer, people who are frequently exposed to the sun or have a high number of moles on their body, um, should be performing one frequently. Um, those who work outdoors and have a history of sunburn should also be looking into performing one, or if they haven't already. Uh, how often should you be performing a skin examination? You should be probably doing it monthly to check for any new or changing moles or skin lesions. However, on the professional scale, you should be going to the dermatologist at least annually for individuals who are at average risk. However, those who have higher risk factors may need to visit the dermatologist more frequently for professional evaluations as recommended by their healthcare provider. Okay, so when performing a skin examination, you should be keeping the ABCDEF rule in mind at all times during the examination. Basically, this rule is a guideline to, it's used to evaluate your moles or any type of skin lesions for signs of melanoma or other skin cancers. It helps identify suspicious changes that warrant further medical evaluation. So here's what the acronym ABCDEF stands for. So A stands for asymmetry or asymmetrical, which means that one half of the mole or the skin lesion does not match the other half in size or color. Then you have B, which is for border. The edges are irregular, blurred, they're notched, or poorly defined. You have C, which stands for color. Um, there is an uneven color or multiple colors within the lesion or the mole. And typically, like, you would see shades of black, brown, red, white, or blue. Then you have D, which stands for diameter. This is it's concerning if the lesion is larger than 6 millimeters, which is about the size of the tip of a pencil eraser. Um, but melanomas can be smaller than that. Um, you have E, which stands for evolving, and this means that the lesion is or the mole is changing in size, shape, color, texture over time, or you're seeing new symptoms arise, such as itching, bleeding, or you see crusting developing. Then you have F, which stands for funny looking. This is also sometimes referred to as the ugly duckling sign, which means that the lesion just looks different from all the other moles or spots on the skin. By using this rule, you can easily identify things or like moles or any lesions that look abnormal to you so that you can get it checked out by a professional if need be. So throughout my video, I've mentioned that you need to look for abnormalities when you're doing the self-examination. I want to explain what those abnormalities actually, like what exactly you're looking for when you're doing your examination. I also want to explain what the normal findings are. So I'm going to start with the normal findings. So starting with the normal findings and starting with color, your color is evenly toned. There's no unusual patches that or unusual pigmentation or discoloration in your color. Texture wise, your skin is smooth and even, and there's no rough or raised areas. For moisture, it's neither excessively dry or oily. It's kind of, like in the middle, I would say. It's and then it's slightly moist to the touch in certain areas, such as like your forehead or the palms of your hands. Temperature wise, you want it to be warm and consistent across the body. You don't want areas of unusual heat or coldness. For elasticity, you want to make sure that your skin returns quickly to its original shape when it's pinched like this. Say so, like it immediately goes back. That means that you have good turgor, and it indicates proper hydration. Lastly, you want to look at the integrity of your skin. You want to make sure that your skin is intact. There's no open wounds, cracks, or lesions, and that there's absence of scars or marks, unless you know exactly where and how you got those scars and marks. Now for the abnormal findings, which is exactly why you do a skin examination for. You want to look for, the first thing you want to look for is if you see any color changes. So if you see pallor, which is unusual paleness, which possibly indicates anemia or poor circulation. You have cyanosis, which you usually look bluish, and that suggests a lack of oxygen. Then you have erythema, which is redness, and that's often a sign of infection, inflammation, or irritation. And then you have jaundice, which is yellowing of the skin and eyes, and that usually indicates liver dysfunction. As for lesions and growths, if you see moles or spots that follow the ABCDEF rule, so they have irregular shapes, uneven borders, multiple colors, they're funny looking, they're changing, that's when you know that that's pretty abnormal. If you have unexplained sores, ulcers, or wounds that do not heal, that's also abnormal. And then if you have like cysts or plaques or nodules or papules that just don't look normal, you should be definitely getting those checked out. Next, we have texture and moisture changes. So if you have rough or scaly patches, that's usually something that you would want to get checked out. If you have excessive drying or cracking, or if you have excessive sweating or oily skin, you do want to get those things checked out. Temperature wise, if you have an area that is very, like, it's localized warmth, that's usually indicating a infection or inflammation. And then if you have coolness in extremities, that usually indicates potential circulatory or circulation issues. And then you also want to check if you have edema or swelling, and that's usually like puffiness in localized areas, or you have generalized swelling, which indicates fluid retention or any other underlying condition. You also, once again, you want to check skin integrity. This one is very, very important when you're doing your skin examination. You want to check for any tears, abrasions, pressure ulcers, bruising, or hematomas without any explanation. I have to say that all of the abnormal findings that I've just listed, if you notice them on your skin during your self-examination, you should be getting it checked as soon as possible. However, your abnormal findings may not present as the ones listed. Everybody has different abnormal findings. These are just some of the abnormal findings you might find during an examination. Now I'm going to be demonstrating how to perform a self-skin examination. For a skin examination, you would probably need a full body mirror like the one you see in front, or a handheld mirror. Something similar to this. This is a little too small, or a handheld mirror that you can use to look at spots you will not be able to see in the full body. So for demonstration purposes, I will be performing this skin self-examination on my very handy dandy teddy bear. And while you should be doing it in front of a mirror, I'm going to show you guys how to do it in front of the camera, so that you guys know how to position yourselves when facing the mirror. So prior to getting yourself in front of the mirror, the first thing that you would do is obviously you would undress yourself. You need to be completely undressed for this self-examination, as you're going to be looking at the entirety of your body. So the first thing after undressing yourself, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to check your forearms. Check your palms, check in between your fingers, the spaces of your fingers, and then you would also check both the front side and the back side of of everything that I just mentioned. Then the second thing that you would do is you would then face the mirror, just like this, face the mirror. You are going to bend your arms at your elbows. So what it's going to look like is it's going to look like this, basically. This, like this. Bend your arms. If my bear had elbows, that's how it would look. Like this. And what you're looking for basically is you're studying your arms in the mirror. So this side of your arms. After that, you are going to still be face forward at the mirror, and you're going to be looking at the entirety of your body, starting from your face, going down to your to your neck, and then to your torso, and then all the way down to your legs. So you're just going to be doing a full examination, looking for any of the abnormalities that I mentioned previously or prior to beginning the examination, and making sure that you also keep the ABCDEF rule in mind, and just in case you see something that you think is abnormal, you know exactly why you think it's abnormal. And then after you have looked at the front side of your body, what you're going to do is you're going to turn a little bit, like so, to one side. I'll do this side. You're going to turn to this side. And what you're looking for is looking at the sides of the body. So you're going to look at the sides of your arm. You're going to look at the side of your torso, the side of your neck, all the way down to your ankles. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking at the side, and then you're going to do the same thing you did on the first side on the other side as well. Once again, looking for any type of abnormalities, and keeping the ABCDEF rule in mind. Then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to turn your back to the mirror. Oops, ignore that. Sorry, I don't know why it's ripped. You're going to turn your back to the mirror, and what you're going to do is you're going to obviously turn your head back to where you could see your back in the mirror. So if my bear had a neck, he would be able to, like so, exactly like this. And what you're going to be looking for is you're going to look at your buttocks, your thighs, and down all the way to your legs. So you're basically looking at the back side of your or the bottom side of your body. Then after looking at that, you are going to stay facing like this. And this is where the handheld mirror would come in handy. So what you would do is you would hold the mirror in one of your hands, and you would adjust it to where you could see the upper side of your back. And then once again, you're going to check for any abnormalities. So once you have done that, after you have studied your upper back, what you're going to do is you're going to keep you no longer need the full body mirror. So now you're still going to keep that handheld mirror in your hand. And what you're going to do is you're going to use it and to look at your scalp. And what you would do for your scalp is you would literally comb through your scalp to check for any abnormalities. And then you could also use a blow dryer to lift up the hairs, and you would use it at a cool setting so that it's easier than doing it with your hands. Lastly, you would have to like so, sit on a chair like so, use your handheld mirror to look at the insides of each of your legs. So you'd be using it to look at this part of your leg, and then the soles of your feet. And this is another part where you would use the handheld mirror, because it's just easier to look at the soles of your feet using the mirror at this angle. And yeah, that is how you would perform a self-examination. And once again, the most important thing is to make sure you keep in mind the ABCDEF rule, which stands for asymmetrical or asymmetry, border, color, diameter, evolving, and funny looking. And I've explained what everything means in a prior to the examination, as well as and then if you see any abnormalities, that's when you would think ABCD. So if you see any abnormalities that I've mentioned previously, that's when you would apply the ABCD rule and decide if it needs to be, if it's worth getting checked out or not. Another thing to keep in mind with this examination is that you are standing for majority of it. You're standing from steps 1 all the way to 7. The only time you are going to be sitting on a chair is when you're looking at the insides of your legs and at the soles of your feet. For the other 7 steps out of 8, you are standing. It doesn't look like my bear was standing because it's difficult for me to get my bear to stand, but when you perform this examination in person, you will need to be standing, as you are going to be standing in a full body mirror. I want to emphasize that if you see something on your skin while doing a skin self-check or examination, and you believe it's abnormal, then and you have a gut feeling that you should get it checked out, then please get it checked out. Even if it didn't follow any of the abnormal findings that I've listed, if you have never if you just have that gut feeling like I should really get this checked out, then please do get this checked out, because it could potentially be something that is threatening to your health. Your abnormal finding doesn't have to be exactly what I have listed. It could be something different, and because everybody's body is different. So I really, 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 really want to highlight the importance of, trusting yourself and going out to get something checked that you believe is abnormal. If you do believe something is abnormal and it doesn't follow a list, it doesn't mean that it's not abnormal. Please just get it checked out. Anyways, that concludes my self-skin examination video. Thank you so much for watching.